It's time for another exciting episode of the Bad Influence Podcast with me, your host. You already know me, Jordan Banderas. Remember to hit the follow, subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my episodes. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on any of this. It's pure gold. So today's episode, let's start things off by talking about the big L word. Can you guess what it is? Well, if not, let me give you a hint. It's a word a lot of people seem to be afraid to discover the true meaning of. And due to this, a lot of people put conditions on it. Have you guessed what it is? If not, that's fine, because I'm talking about love. And a lot of people don't know exactly what it means, what true love is, how to give it, how to receive it. And especially now with social media, I see a lot of people put conditions on their love. Probably you have seen the post where it says like, oh, if my boyfriend, girlfriend doesn't do this, then she doesn't love me. That's a condition. And here's the problem. I don't think that people know what conditional love and unconditional love means, because conditional love and its counterpart, unconditional love, are not the same. And some people, for what I have seen, they get all confused. But let me ask you this. Have you ever stopped to think about how these two forms of love shape your relationships and ultimately your world? Because in case you didn't know, they do shape that. They do shape your world and your relationships. Because if you give conditional love, the other person might walk away if they feel like they're never going to be able to meet your conditions to earn your love. And I honestly believe, and a lot of people fight me on this for some reason, I honestly believe that conditional love is not real love because it hinges on conditions. That's why the name, conditional love. It also has a lot of expectations and even unspoken standards. It's like having a checklist that someone needs to check off to earn your love. And if the other person doesn't do what you expect them to do without you telling them, you get mad. You feel like they don't love you enough to know that they need to do certain things to earn your love. Men and women do this all the time. Some groups of women, like the feminazis or even the red pill community for men, say this. It's like, oh, your love has to be earned and whatever, and that other person, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, they have to do this and that and whatever, and they have to be understanding of you and all this bullshit. But in this journey called life, I have found the real version of love, which is the unconditional type. This is the kind of love that doesn't come with a to-do list or a set of unspoken expectations. It's a kind of love that acknowledges the inherent worth and value of the person you're with. It has no strings attached and no expectations. And that's why it's so scary to give unconditional love, because you feel like you're going to be taken advantage of. You probably don't even know how to start giving unconditional love. But the best part about unconditional love is that it's just about getting to know each other and loving the other person for who they are, including quirks and all their faults. My wife loves all my quirks. I always make her laugh with them. And she also loves all my faults because she knows that if she brings up something that I'm fucking up with, what's going to happen is that I'm going to work on that. And she loves that. She sees me grow. She offers help. She gives me unconditional love, just like I give her unconditional love. But I'm not going to lie. Not on my podcast, that's for sure. Because in my previous relationships and at the beginning of my marriage, my love was conditional. I didn't know what true love was. And the reason behind that is because growing up, my mom always put conditions on her love towards me. I had to do something for her or I will be the bad son, the bad sheep. She will be like, oh, your brother does that for me. Why can't you? I thought you loved me. You know, if you love your mom, you need to give me money. You need to take care of me. You need to do all these things for your mom because you're supposed to love your mom. And that will make me feel like I had to do things to earn any type of love in my life. A lot of guys and women do this. And probably it's because of a situation like this. Someone in your childhood made you feel like you have to earn their love. They put conditions on their love for you. And probably you feel like you never met those conditions. Just like I did. So in my life, there was a time when expectations and standards dictated the dynamics of my relationships. My partners and even my wife had to do a tightrope walk just to try to keep me happy. Always trying to meet certain criteria to earn my love and acceptance. And it wasn't until I embraced the concept of unconditional love that everything changed in my fucking life. It changed for the better. Because when my wife became ill, she couldn't do anything. She couldn't clean. She couldn't cook. She couldn't watch the dogs. Not even help herself. At one point, I had to help her wash her hair and bathe her because she just couldn't do it. If I had gotten sick, it was all on me. She wasn't going to be able to take care of me, and I understood that. All she could do was lay down for 2 years straight because she was that sick. The doctors didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. She didn't know what the hell was going on. So I had to make a choice. Leave her since she couldn't meet my conditions for my love, or stay. But I had never dealt with anything like this. I have never seen this, not even in a movie or a telenovela, so I was lost. The only thing that I could remember was that my grandpa stayed with my grandma even though she was in a wheelchair pretty much her entire life. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go off of that. And I started reading books and listening to couples counselors, which made me realize that my wife and I needed to go to couples therapy. I was like, shit, I need help. I want to stay married to this wonderful human being and I need help. We need a referee. We need a translator because back then my English was horrible. I was saying things that were coming out the wrong way. She was getting offended and I was getting frustrated. So it was like, okay, let's put someone in the middle, right? And while we were going to therapy, I realized that love should be unconditional for my marriage to work, especially because my wife was sick. So she wasn't going to be able to do anything for who knows how long. Which is something that I had never done before, so it was new and extremely hard to do. This concept of unconditional love is really, really bad. You don't understand it until you start trying it. That's one of the things that I have learned, because I had to literally not care that my wife was laying down all day. I had to learn how to love myself so I could give her the love that she deserved. I had to learn about her health issues so I could go to the doctors with her and go to bat for her without expecting anything in return. And that's the hardest part for people to understand about unconditional love, because you have to realize that sometimes the other person can't give you everything you want from them right away. You have to create a line of communication where you can tell the other person what you want from him or her. Like, for example, as the man, which is something that a lot of men don't talk about. You need to tell your woman, your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, that you don't want her to work. This is just an example. If you don't want her to work, tell her, hey, you know what? I'm going to work. You stay home. You take care of the house, the kids, the pets, whatever. But you have to let her know. And same thing with women. One of the things that I recommend women to tell their man is this. I know you got me. But the only thing I want from you is to never break your word. If you tell me that you got me, that you're going to take care of me, do it. Don't break that word. That's unconditional love. Because all she's asking for is for you to keep your word. See? And if you do this, there can't be any judgment at all, which is also hard. And the other person needs to be allowed to say no to anything that they know they don't want to do or change in their body or personality, because a lot of people do that. There's guys out there that say like, oh, you need to get a BBL if you want to be with me. You need to get a boob job or a nose job or whatever job if you want to be with me. And same thing, women do it. It's like, oh, you need to lose weight. You need to have a six-pack, whatever. And same thing when people try to change the other person's personality. If they're too loud, they're like, oh, you need to tone it down. No, love that. Love that loudness. If they're too quirky, love that. Just love their personality. And in my case, here's what I told my wife. I said, Katie, I love you, and I'll be by your side throughout this whole process, but all I want from you is to get better. So don't worry about me. I got us. And she understood. She was able to get that. And that's why we have been able to go through everything that we have, because we give each other unconditional love. And like I say, it's something that I show her, and it's something that she also showed me, because she never once said, you have to do this or I won't apply for your green card, which is another bullshit tactic that I see people use. Oh, it's like, oh, you want your green card? You gotta do this and you gotta do that. You gotta do that, you know? I've seen it. It happens a lot, more than you think. But doing all of this was hard, was really, really, really hard. But I also believe that based on this experience, that unconditional love makes you step up as a person, because you also have to grow and learn new things about the other person and yourself. And when you do that, you start to bond with each other, and it allows you to help the other person grow as well. You'll be able to let them know when they're fucking up, and if they understand that your love is unconditional and all you want from them is to get better at whatever they like to do, then they won't get mad. They won't get frustrated when you give them constructive feedback. This is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. That's why I'm talking about this, because this is something that my wife and I do all the time. We tell each other when we're fucking up and where we're fucking up in our lives, because we want the best for each other. We don't want to see the other person fail. We're not the type of couple that is so like, see, I told you so. I told you you suck. No, that's not what we do here. We don't do that in the Banderas household. And you may be wondering, how can I bring more unconditional love into my life? Well, this starts with you. You have to learn to love yourself and enjoy what makes you you. What makes you you. Your quirks, your faults, what you think, your emotions, everything. You need to be comfortable in your own skin. So when someone puts conditions on their love, Like the other person says, you have to stop dressing a certain way, or you have to stop talking to your friends in order for you to be with me and shit like that, then you can realize that's not what you want and that you deserve better. You know what I'm talking about. This happens more often than not. I've seen it. Especially with Gen Zers right now, for some reason. And that's why we have this lonely epidemic. But in order for you to give unconditional love, you have to be so full of your own love that it spills over so you can give that to others. It's like here, I'm already so full of love that I can give it back. All that love that is spilling thanks to my wife, thanks to the work that I've done, I give to others because I want to see everyone win. But you have to be kind to yourself and acknowledge your worth beyond your achievements or perceived flaws. You're worth more than your actual achievements and all the flaws that either you see on yourself or someone else sees in yourself. And once you've mastered self-love, you'll be able to understand that you don't have to beg for love either. And you'll be able to extend your compassion to others. You have to practice empathy with yourself. You have to suspend judgment, self-judgment in this case, and embrace the beautiful imperfections that make you unique and that makes everyone else unique. And also, please, this is like the biggest thing for today's episode. Don't allow others to convince you that your love has to be conditional, especially if they're single. Because that usually means that they have such insurmountable conditions that nobody can meet them. So they're going to take you down with them. They're going to take you down. They're going to be like, hey, you know what? If you want true love, she has to do all of this for you. Or if you want true love, he has to do all of this for you. He has to earn 6 figures a year, even though he works at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's, but to earn 6 figures working at a McDonald's, it's pretty fucking hard. You know, shit like that. That's, in a lot of cases, insurmountable. You know? Insurmountable. And because of this, I encourage you to reflect on the love in your life. Can you identify areas where unconditional love can flourish a little more? Just remember, the smallest acts of love, given without conditions, have the power to create ripples of compassion that can change your world. You know, you may be compassionate to someone today, and in the future, someone may have compassion on you, and it will allow you to actually reach a goal. You might meet someone because of that compassion as well. You know? That's what I'm talking about. So don't allow anybody, not even your past, not even your negative thoughts, to tell you what love should be. This is something that you have to learn, because unconditional love has to be learned from within. You have to learn it from within. So go out there and start practicing self-empathy. Suspend self-judgment and love yourself. And then don't put conditions on your love. Don't put conditions on your kids' love. Don't put conditions on your wife's love, on your spouse's love, on your husband's love, on your boyfriend or anybody. Just give it unconditionally, and you will see that you're going to be able to break out of the chains that are holding you back from actually loving life, from loving the person that the people that are around you, and all the good things in life. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. And remember to keep an open mind and engage in respectful discussions in the comments below. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. And hit that notification button to stay tuned for more content. And here are my final thoughts. In order for love to flourish to what it truly is, there can't be any conditions to it. And have a great day.